Hello, hello, hello. Just want to make sure you're good to go. Hello, how are you? Welcome to February 3rd, 2023. January, I'm not even going to say it. You already know. It went by really fast, didn't it? Now we're in February 3rd, and it's Black History Month. And we have here, Reverend Martin Luther King. And that picture was actually taken in 1967 when he was doing a speech in Stanford called The Other America. If you've never heard that speech, I would really, 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 really highly encourage you to get it, because he was making a shift in his communication to economic empowerment. And he was talking about the two Americas for Black people, people of color, and whites, and about the disparities that were going on. And when you listen to that speech and you get a copy of it and you read it, it was April of 1967. How long ago was that? Well, 33 years gets you to 2000, and then 23 more years gets you to 2023. So 33 plus 23 is 56 years. 56 years. And when you read the speech, it could have been on the news last night. So what does that mean? You already know things haven't changed a whole lot, right? My friend Ellis and I were just having a conversation about Memphis. Come on, y'all. So for things to change, we have to be the change. Oh, wow, she works for Stanford. Thank you, Stephanie. Please watch that speech. It is amazing. It is amazing how relevant it is and relevant. What it reveals. It's relevant and relevant. What it reveals, okay? So please check that speech out. Two Americans. Hello, Tina from Houston. Please check that out, okay? LA, yes. Hey, Michelle. Los Angeles. I was just on the phone with somebody from Los Angeles yesterday. We had a great conversation. And so I wanna just have a short. Today is going to be kind of short, but it might not be. We'll see how it goes. I want to prepare you guys for some things we're going to be doing. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but life is going by really fast. Have you guys noticed it? And if there are things you want to do, you know when the time to do it is? Right now. You feel me? Right now. And I know money is always involved in stuff we're going to do, because here's what I know. If you start talking about lifestyle, it always involves two things. One is time, and the other one is money. Because if you can control your time and control your money, you can have a great lifestyle. If you only have control of one, you've got a horrible lifestyle. Think about it. A lot of time, no money. A lot of time, no money. What's that like? A lot of money, no time. A lot of money, no time. You usually spend all your time making the money and never get a chance to enjoy it. So what we're looking to do is have a balance of controlling my time and controlling my money. That equals your dream life or dream lifestyle. Does that make sense? So April is financial literacy month. Okay. So I'm going to be proposing you do something in March that to help you with setting your goals and direction and purpose, and then something else in April to manage your money so that you can have the lifestyle and purpose we're going to talk about in March, because April is financial literacy month. Okay. So here we go. So the idea would be, so I can get this next slide to go. Yeah, we want to do this so we can have multi-generational wealth, yada, yada, yada. We talked about this. What is financial independence? In my book, Financial Independence is you having enough wealth where you don't have to work on a day-to-day basis for money. But because of businesses, real estate, and other streams of income you have coming in, you're not working for money anymore. You're working to really towards your purpose and your passion projects and just making a difference. That makes sense? But we have to have a strategy to change our economic position and the level of political power we have. And we've got to develop a sustainable Black economy where I'm not necessarily saying separate, but what I am saying is that Black people need to have an economic base that they can be self-reliant on. Okay? So I encourage you to pick up the books by Claude Anderson, kind of as something to undergird your thinking about that. I'm not saying everything he says is 100% right or you should do it, but it's a challenge. It will challenge you to think differently. I'm with you, Renee. I want time and money too. That's what's up. That's what's up. And it's happening. Since 1860, Blacks continue to control less than 1% of U.S. wealth. That hasn't changed in over 160 years. So we've got to do something different. Something different is working and growing together as a group. And that's part of what we're starting a movement here with us doing it on this podcast, us doing it together, and we can just help it to grow. And then when you have critical mass, you can begin to get what you want and need from the powers that be. Okay. One thing that I would encourage, and it took me a while to get to this place, but be proud to be a Black person in America. The fact that you're here, more or less in your right mind, I know some of y'all crazy. Not just me, but some of y'all crazy. Some of us got papers. I got papers from the past that I'm crazy. Be proud that if you're a Black person in America and you standing and you are productive and you're making things happen, you have overcome more than most to be where you're at, and you're to be applauded for it. Okay? Because the things that happen to us as a people to keeping on in the face of it says a lot about your character. So I'm proud to be a Black person in America. Now, we talked about some tips for 2023, and we're going to get more into this in April when we're going through the financial workshop. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. You are a business. You are a business. You're moving towards April. Anybody working on taxes and stuff like that? Right? And my encouragement is that we move from tax filing to tax planning. From tax filing to tax planning, where you know the taxes you're going to pay or not pay long before the end of the year. Matter of fact, you knew it the year before because you planned it that way. You planned your income, you planned your deductions, and you planned how much tax you were going to pay. So you're a business. How'd you do in 2022? What was your revenue? What were your expenses? What was your profitability? Your profitability is your savings. Is your savings. I encourage you, as soon as you get paid, somehow, however it comes in, check comes in, that you take a certain percentage of it and it goes to be saved and invested. Saved and invested right off the top. Did your profit improve in 2022? Did you save more money? And what do you plan to profit in 2023? If it went up, meaning your profit, why did it go up? If it didn't, why didn't it? A life that's not managed is not going to be well lived, right? So when you manage something and watch it, it tends to perform better. So we're going to look at your net worth, your assets minus your liabilities, what you own versus what you owe. We're going to create a cash flow plan. There's a bunch of stuff we're going to do as we talk about this workshop, but these are just some tips. And we want to hear from you about what you'd like to see covered in this workshop. We can't cover everything. We're going to have 4 sessions, and we can't cover everything in 4 sessions, but we want to cover things that would be meaningful to you. So we want to hear from you about that. So here we go. Black Economic Empowerment Workshops, really in March and April. Okay. Now, in March 10th to the 12th, and this is a shameless plug. This is a training that I'm involved in being one of the facilitators for. I went through it for the first time in 2019, and it was life-changing for me. Life-changing for me. They say the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born, and then the second day is the day you find out why. The day you were born and the day you find out why, where you understand specifically the purpose for which you were put here on the planet. And my belief system is one that says that each one of you has a specific purpose for being on this planet right now. And there are things that you're to be doing that only you can do. And people look around and say, well, why is the world like this? Well, one of the reasons I believe is like this is because some of us are out of position, not in the roles we need to be doing the things we need to do. So there's a training that we do called Leading Lights Training. And the foundation of it is discovering your purpose. Now, let me ask you guys a question. We're online, right? You're on some sort of digital medium. You came through Facebook Live, or you're on Zoom or YouTube or something like that. What if Mr. Facebook was a person and Mr. Facebook came up and asked you, I'm kind of discouraged and disappointed because I don't know my purpose. How would you explain to Mr. Facebook what his purpose was? You'd explain all the things that Facebook does and what it empowers people to do and to experience. And so Mr. Facebook purpose would be to enable those things to happen, right? Just like if Mr. Chair walked up to you and said, I don't understand what my purpose is. Well, how would you figure out what the purpose of a chair is? Well, you look at its design and you look at what it actually does and the benefit it provides. Those are some of the clues as to purpose. Same thing about you. There are certain things that you do better than anybody. There's certain things that just come second nature to you, and they provide a benefit to people. Have you ever thought about that might tie into your purpose and why you're here? So that Leading Lights Training and that QR code, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to the registration. Okay. It'll take you to the registration and also some information about the training. Okay. I really encourage you. If I could make you do it somehow. But all of my closest friends have gone through this training. And the ones that haven't, I'm riding them like a pony. There's only a few left. I'm riding them like a pony to go through it. Why? Because life begins when you understand your purpose. Okay. So, yeah, scan the QR code, check the training out. Okay. It's very dynamic. It's very dynamic. So let's say you go through the training in March and you're clear on your purpose. Then in April, we start talking about your finances. One of the things, I've been in this financial industry for 20 years, and one of the things I learned early on is the only reason for a financial plan is to support a life plan that you're wanting to execute, right? So we need to have clear goals and objectives for our plan. My wife and I are planning, we live in Chicago. So our goal is to move to another state by November of 24. Okay, November of 2024. So we're planning our financial picture to look a certain way so we can make that happen. So there are things we have to do now to make that become a reality. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to prepare financially to develop an economy for Black folks that's going to be meaningful. We have to get our individual financial houses in order. So in April, we're going to have a financial do shop, not a workshop. I call it a do shop because every time you come, there's going to be things for you to do from one class to the other. See, I don't know if I came up with this or not, but this is how I think about it. When you go to school, right? If you go to school, how are you successful in school? What do you have to do to be successful in school? Well, you have to study, right? Pay attention, and you have to do well on the tests. So you can write down on the test what the teacher's looking for and get the right answers. And you can get an A. You can be a scholar. You can be a top of the class. In real life, yeah, a part of the way you win is what you know, but it's what you actually put into practice and what you actually do, right? It's more about your wisdom, your ability to take what you know and put it into practice in real life while the game is on, so to speak. The game of life is on, that you're able to do the right things, make the right moves to get the right results. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's March and April. March is about what's my purpose? How have I been created and developed uniquely to accomplish a certain purpose on the earth? Okay. April is, okay, we're going to fund that purpose. Here's how we're going to fund it with what we have right now and money we're going to make in the future to make that a reality. And you'll be surprised how things will come into your life almost supernaturally, you could say, to empower you to fulfill your purpose. Some people would call them miracles. Okay? But I fully expect that to happen for people who come to these two trainings. Okay? Now, this workshop in April, we want to hear from you, like what topics you want to cover. There's an email address and a phone number for you to email and text suggested topics. Now, I've got a whole bunch of them. I'm going to share some with you right here, but we want to hear from you what it is you'd like to hear about. We can't cover everything, but if we see some reoccurring things for people, man, we want to hear. So what are some of the things that we're going to cover in this workshop? Okay. First of all, we've got to make decisions. We've got to make decisions today that are going to benefit us over time. Yes, we need to enjoy life today. I'm with you on that. But we also need to prepare for tomorrow. Would you guys agree? Like in Chicago, it's wintertime, right? And summer eventually gets here. And it's nice outside. And if you want a shade tree that's going to provide you shade here in Chicago, when would have been the best time to have planted that tree to get shade this July, August of this year? Man, probably 20 years ago, right? When's the next best time to plant that tree? As soon as possible this planting season. Because you can't change the past, but you can make the most of now going forward, right? So our goal is to help you to make important decisions that are going to impact you short term, but they're also going to impact you long term. So we all have to have a framework, an economic model or belief system of how we do things, how we make things happen. You've got one. You may never have written it down or maybe thought about it, but how is value created and money made? In general, how do you create value? How do you make money? How do you continue to create more income, expand the number of income streams you have, and create what I call massive passive income, where you've got incomes coming in from work you did years ago? And my question would be, is your plan in writing and are you taking action on it? Okay. Next thing, you gotta have a cash flow plan. You got money coming in and money going out. What's your plan for it? And do you have a margin? Because that margin, the difference between your income and your expenses, that's what your investable assets are. That's the money you're going to use to make your dreams happen. What are some things that we need to have in place? What I call an unplanned event fund. I don't call it emergency fund anymore because it's only emergency if you don't have the money. If an unplanned event happens, it's not an emergency if you have the money. It was just an unplanned event. I was driving down the street the other day, minding my own business, and I looked up and I saw this car that was in front of me heading southwest on the highway, and this other person was coming, and they were going northeast, and they must have been like, I don't know what they were doing, but they just drove in front of this car like it wasn't even there. This other car swerved, but I'm sure they were surprised. They hit this person, blasted them, and then kind of made off to the side of the road. You know what that was? Unplanned event. Neither one of those people planned to get in that accident. But guess what? It triggered some things in their life financially and probably health-wise as well. You need to have an unplanned event fund. If you have debt, maybe some of you do, we need a way to get out of it because debt is not your friend, at least not consumer debt. I'm not talking about business debt, real estate debt that you're leveraging to make money. I'm talking about consumer debt. And then you have to have plans to manage risk. Life insurance, I pass away too soon or I get hurt or disabled. Health insurance, I get sick. Long-term care insurance, I get old. Everybody is going to get sick, old, and die. That's just what happens. But why not get paid when that happens? It's called life insurance. Then we're going to determine some key goals you have. I don't know how, depending on your age, and sometimes it doesn't depend on your age. You got a marriage or wedding you're planning, a home purchase you're planning, a college for children, either your children or grandchildren. Maybe you want to start a business, right? Maybe there's some investment real estate you want to buy. You want to have a tax-free retirement, long-term care. You want to plan for your later years, multi-generational wealth planning. You want to plan for the next generation. And you need to deal with powers of attorney, wills and trusts, guardianship, asset protection. And then there are questions. Please get us your questions about things you'd like to see covered. That'll give us time to get some other experts in to cover those things, right? get some other experts in to cover those things. There is going to be a fee for this workshop. It's going to be reasonable, but there will be a fee for it. And there'll be some pre-work that you're going to get in March, things for you to do in March to be prepared for the workshop in April. Okay? So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Now, this is Black History Month, and we want you to have education, critical thinking about two things. One, Black History Month, your heritage, and two, your lifestyle. Got to be doing some thinking about both of those. These are some books by Dr. Claude Anderson that have been very helpful for me in developing my awareness and some of my thoughts about what it means to be Black in America right now, and some of the things we need to be doing to change our situation. So I encourage you to go to his website, powernomics.com, and check those books out. I don't make any money off these books. They've just been very helpful for me, so I'm paying it forward. Okay, this is one of them. It's a Black History reader. It's a great book to be reading this month during Black History Month because it covers a lot of things that you had no idea about. I know I didn't. It's like, what? Who knew about that, right? So I encourage you to get that book. It's called A Black History Reader by Dr. Claude Anderson. Very powerful book about Black history. 101 questions you wouldn't even think to ask, okay? So what are the next steps? Man, get that book. Get that book. When the registration link comes up, hopefully we'll have it in the next couple of weeks. You register for that April do shop. You attend the Leading Lights training. Get on the QR code. Register for that. Develop your personal initiative. What is it that you're going to do to make the world a better place? Because that is a part of your calling. That's why you're here on the planet. You're here to make this world a better place. First inside your four walls of your house and then outside. And then start executing that plan, okay? So one, growing your understanding of who you are as a Black person here. Number two, we're going to get our financial house in order in April by going to this do shop. We're going to have more purpose and focus in March by doing the Leading Lights and then executing the plan. Does that sound like a good way to get 2023 off and going in the right direction? Come on now. Purpose, financial planning, better understanding your Black history. Come on now. That sounds pretty good to me. blacktodoctor.org does it again. Hey, so here's what I want you to do. Man, if you're enjoying this content and this time we spend together every Friday, like the show, subscribe, share it with people. Okay, get your friends into these workshops because if you don't, they're going to continue to ask you for money and be depressed and asking you questions about stuff. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm really not. Okay, so hey, it's Gus Tucker here on financial. Yeah, join the Financial Freedom Fridays Facebook group. Okay, because a lot of stuff we're going to be posting in there for these workshops, both in March and April, and you'll be able to catch up on the materials. Okay, but come on now. Let's make it happen in March and April. Take advantage of those resources and let's change our lives. Okay, God bless you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.